it's going to be an interesting journey because I'm finding my voice.
Way too cute to be dealing with bullshit.
Can't tell me nothing.
I am the Muse, and this is episode 2 of The Other N-Word. Today I'm going to continue with, I guess, the next part of my story. Again, a little background. So I wrote a memoir, The Other N-Word, and with the original intentions of publishing it as a book. But as I wrote it, I realized that it was art. It was like an archive piece. It was essentially me telling my story. I had written it down, but it was not to be edited and, just made perfect and thought about and researched and double checked, and all this stuff that comes with publishing a book was not the purpose. My mother is the definition of a conundrum wrapped in an enigma. She is the 5th child of 13 born to my grandmother, Esther, or mother. She was born in Terrell, Texas, a small town outside of Dallas that was put on the map by Jamie Foxx. And she moved to LA when she was about 13 years old. Go figure that this naive country girl was pregnant within a year of moving to the big city. I think everyone would agree that my mom is the black sheep of the family. Usually this term applies to the bad seed, but my mom stood out for good reason. In a family full of colorful characters, she was the only one who never drank, smoked, did drugs, cursed, gossiped, etc. She is the ultimate goody two-shoes. Let my father tell it, she only let him have sex with her 3 times and they have 3 kids together. Though she is the middle girl, she is definitely the matriarch of her family, always making sure everyone stays close and generally being the rock during hard times. Her perspective on life is without a doubt the start of my success in life. My earliest memories of my mom date back to when we lived in the projects. I remember random things like her sending us to church but never going herself. She would keep Katrina and DeShannon a lot, which was very commendable considering the circumstances. She was close to everyone in the projects, including Benji, a neighbor who became mentally ill after being hit by an ice cream truck, and who would terrorize the neighborhood with episodes of wild violence when the kids from across the train tracks would call out, "Benji ain't got no root beer." I remember that. She would get all the kids in the neighborhood together for Easter egg hunts and other huge group activities. I remember playing Duck Duck Goose and a Tisket a Tasket with at least 25 kids in the middle of the project's grassy area late into the evening. She was a strong, unifying force in the projects, and anyone who lived there at the time would remember her. And I remember many people crying when we moved. One of my strongest memories, one day I was sitting on my porch and there were other people there. I had to be about 6 or 7. For some reason, I decided to spit over the edge of the porch. Why did I do that? In front of all those people, my mom gave me a whooping that I remember to this day. Now keep in mind, spitting was the least of the issues that most parents had to deal with where we live, but this is how my mom was. Though we were never told that we were different or better than anyone else, my mom did not develop her set of expectations for us from people around us. This was, for me, the beginning of what I call the dichotomy of my youth. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I wrote my first full chapter. I sent it to my cousin to read, and he was like, I wrote a book. Like, I'm writing a book, right? And so he sends me his, and I send him mine, right? And it was such a scary parallel in what we had written. And so I just want to quickly read his section on that. I feel like it's a parallel to that. So he wrote about his mom. So that's how I thought about my mom. So you got to remember, there's the truth, and then there's your perspective as a child. So my perspective as a child is my mom is the black seed, and she can't do nothing wrong. She ain't never did nothing wrong. You know, that's my perspective. You know, that's what I know. And so this is what he wrote. My cousin Kenny actually passed away in April of 2019, and he had 10 kids, and his mama has 10 kids, my Auntie Pee-wee, and my Auntie Pee-wee passed away in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, 11/22/2009, and I think he's April 6th, 2019. As far as I can remember, my family was equipped to engage into conflict with whomever crossed them in a disrespectful manner. The strength that we as children viewed was immeasurable. The only thing that we feared as children was our parent, and definitely God. Those days, our parents made ends meet by tooth and nail. Our folks wanted the best out of us and wouldn't settle for mediocrity. We were held to highest standards as if we was from another world in a different time. I'm figuring life in those days were the days that were cloudy, and the smoke would soon clear, and my reality would become the reason I chose to begin to type what I hope people will read across the world. Mom's was a slim, trim, bad to the bone, red bone, roller skating diva. That's how you introduce your mama. That's the difference between a boy and a girl in terms of how they feel about their mamas, right? I love my mama, but slim, trim, bad to the bone, red bone, roller skating diva, dang, okay. Her nickname is Pee-wee, and she's the 7th child of Esther, mother. Moms was born in Terrell, Texas. The thing about Moms, she is a white sheep of her family. She and her mother don't communicate like most mothers and daughters would. I know for a fact that they are just alike because my grandmama is also the white sheep of her family. Their relationship is similar to me and my mother's. It's sad that all of us white sheep can't seem to get along. Mom's is no nonsense type. She'll take care of business accordingly. She will fight with the best of them, and she has always been the underdog that always have the last bark. Well, look at it this way. She's the 7th child of 13 children. She has 2 older brothers, 2 younger brothers, 4 older sisters, and 4 younger sisters. So the ideal of her being somebody's prey was unheard of. Mother did what she had to do to take care of her 13 seeds. In my heart, I know that Mom's was a recipient of that trait passed down through the family tree. That if my children need it, I need to find a way to make it possible. If the mission wasn't fulfilled, then it would be an imbalanced situation. So to survive was to be able to make it, and there was no other alternative. Big Mama was Mother's mother. She was a stronger individual. She had created something that would trickle down for generations to come. But it all comes with a valuable price tag. Death and all that fall under the process of migrating and trying to settle in a corrupt and demonic world. I remember the last time I saw her, and she really gave me a sense of belonging to know that someone is there for you just because with no ulterior motives. She was a warm-hearted person that didn't do no harm to anyone unless it was warranted. That's my big mama. Her adjective had been accomplished. Her children had grown, and she achieved the American dream of purchasing a house, and soon the sun set on her and made her soul rest. He continues on, but you see how he spoke about his mama, and I spoke about my mom, and the ultimate mother is my grandmother, mother, and then her mom is Big Mama. So, just in the scheme of jumping from that, you see it, in my first episode, I talk about sort of my siblings. So then now it's sort of my mother. And it's interesting that my cousin, who is essentially the same as me, talking about his mother and grandmother, the similarities that come across, just this sense of coming from this kind of big family, and we're poor, rural, come from a poor rural area, Turtle, Texas, and then move to the ghetto of LA, the projects, and it's just like the 80s in LA, a lot of crime, drugs, violence, and we were just a clan, like nobody fucked with us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many of them, how he described my Auntie Pee-wee. I mean, it's like, come on, you got 4 older sisters, 4 younger sisters, 2 younger brothers, 2 older brothers. It's like so dope. And like I'm the same, right? So I have 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters, and a big brother. And so all these parallels start to form in more detail who I am, who I was to become, who I am right in this moment as I speak to you. And I will end it there for today, and that is my mouthful. Thank you guys.